Critics like Elizabeth Warren believe that there would be fewer complaints if the credit card industry clearly disclosed how its business works, particularly when it comes to the minimum monthly payment.
If people knew that the cost of minimum monthly payments was that they would still be paying for yesterday's trip to the shopping mall for the next 35 years, some people might decide to pay a lot more than the minimum. And the industry knows that. That's why they don't want to tell.
You advertise in your bills what the minimum monthly payment is, but you don't tell people how much that might cost you if you stuck to that minimum payment. Why not?
The disclosure would be wrong 99% of the time because nobody, almost nobody, pays exactly the minimum, that minimum, every month for the 20 years and never charges another thing. This is going to be a hyper-technical, expensive disclosure that nobody would understand. So we are against disclosures that nobody would understand and that are wrong. We are for disclosures that help people understand. It's that simple.
This is a nonsense argument. In the line, directly under the line that says minimum monthly payment, there's a simple sentence that can be added. If you make minimum monthly payments, it will take you how many years, 35 years, and how many months to pay off this bill.
The man who takes credit for inventing the 2% minimum payment thinks more disclosure is useless.
This is a fascination that every now and then someone with an axe to grind or someone who thinks he's going to help consumers has on his mind. But if we had a tape and we ran a computer on transcripts of 10,000 customer service calls with questions, okay, I don't think you'd ever hear that question. So I'm kind of baffled at the artificiality of it. I don't think that's what consumers want to know because they don't expect to make minimum payments forever.
Do you know if you made the minimum payment, for instance, on your bill, how long it would take you to pay it off?
I'm not in a hurry to find out. I'm just going to pay it off.
Would you like to know?
Sure.
Curious, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It would inspire me to put down more. It would inspire me. And I think that's probably why they don't put it down. It would inspire a lot more people to pay more than the minimum.
Virtually everyone who holds a credit card, one way or the other, under existing laws today and provisions, can be completely taken advantage of by the credit card industry. So there is a deception going on to get you into the game. Once you're in, and I've got you in, then if you get out, I charge you. If you don't meet your obligations, I charge you. You move left, you move right, I've got you.
So what are you going to do about it?
Well, I've got legislation, so I got a bill. There's always a quick answer here, and I don't know how far it'll go because I've tried this in the past. I'm not new to the issue.
A good deal of the blame for the crisis of credit card debt we're seeing in America lies in how the practices are followed by credit card companies.
In the summer of 2004, Senator Dodd introduced a credit card reform bill that would, among other things, require credit card companies to disclose how long it would take consumers to pay off their balance. But he is not optimistic that the bill will pass. His many previous attempts to reform the credit card business have all failed.
Why haven't you or other lawmakers been able to put some regulation into place? Is it their political power?
Sure, there's no question about it. I mean, every time we've tried to offer legislation, this industry has become very, very powerful. And it's very successful in defeating every legislative attempt that's been made over the last several years to inject some responsibility on the part of this credit card industry.
Your critics say that you block every attempt to pass industry reform or consumer protection legislation. You've blocked minimum monthly payment legislation, interest cap rates, and a ban on marketing to college students.
We've done our best to block bad bills. Those are bad bills. And we'll continue to do our best to block them.
Bad for?
Bad for consumers.
I want to promise you something today. You know, keep on defeating me and keep on defeating ideas like this, and you'll look back and wish we had passed this legislation. Because I'll tell you, Congress will come along and they'll take steps far more egregious in their view than anything I'm suggesting. I'm discussing disclosure. Just let people know what the deal is.
I think there's a time when the American consumer is going to hit the tipping point on this issue, and it's no longer going to be all right for credit card companies once they're in financial trouble to change the interest rates, to load them on with fees and penalties, to just decide that the terms of the contract they originally signed are no longer the terms of the contract. I think that day is coming.
Even an industry insider like Duncan MacDonald, who worked at Citibank for nearly 30 years, is deeply concerned.
I know enough about the industry and the lawyers in the industry, and there have to be people sitting there saying, we've got to find a way to deal with this. Have we reached that point? I don't know. But my guess is there's a debate going on. And I hope there's a debate going on. What a tragedy it would be if there isn't.
The tragedy would be what?
The status quo gets worse. The status quo is bad, and then it gets worse.
Profits keep increasing.
25% of bad rates become 30% bad rates, and late fees become $50 and $60 and so on.
Back in South Dakota, the man who helped the industry take off in the 1980s has mixed feelings about what he helped create.
Do you ever reflect on the fact that in this great success, which has been a great benefit to your state, at the same time has helped create a way of borrowing money, spending money that may have gotten out of control?
I think the answer to that is yes. I mean, we've become a plastic society. We've become a plastic society. A lot of times you want to give people cash, they look at you. Cash? Cash?
You were instrumental in making this happen in many ways.
I didn't think of any of this when it happened, and I'm still glad I still like what we did, and I still think it was a huge opportunity for my state. Now, if we're talking about the industry and 18, 19, 20 plus % interest, do I think that's a healthy thing for human beings? The answer is no. I don't think that's healthy at all.
This report continues on Frontline's website, where you can explore 8 things a credit card user should know, special reports on credit cards and personal responsibility, what's behind that deluge of credit card offers in your mailbox, and how your own personal credit history is compiled and reported, plus advice on how to find your own credit worthiness score and how to read your credit card agreement. Then watch the program again online and join in our discussion about credit cards at pbs.org. Next time on Frontline.
Fat doesn't necessarily make us fat.
What's the point of looking thin in a casket?
I say hi, you say no, you say why, and I say I don't know.
Which diets fail?
You say goodbye,
and which ones work? Frontline gets the skinny on the diet wars. Frontline's Secret History of the Credit Card is available on videocassette or DVD. To order, call PBS Home Video at 1-800-PLAY-PBS.
Partial funding for this program was provided by the Nathan Cummings Foundation. Frontline is made possible by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.